Couple Journey. And for today's video, we are going to focus on being a teacher and you had your RFE or request for evidence. How should you respond to that? There are plenty of J1 teachers that we know of through our J1 Waiver Helping Hands group. They are in the stage now where they receive an RFE. Once you got that through your exceptional hardship waiver, you have to be thankful because that is just to show that the USCIS is really reading your papers and they are into the process now of moving forward, not until there is substantial evidences that you could submit. Did I have a RFE? Yes, I do have plenty of RFEs with my Form I-485 before, and most especially with the Form I-612, which is the waiver. Why do we need a waiver? The reason for that is if you are from a country like the Philippines, we are most likely subject to the 212E rule, 2-year home residency requirement if you are under a J1 visa. A lot of the J1 visa category, especially if you are an educator, you are really subject to that. So please go to the internet, like any search engine, like for example, Google. Take a look at the exchange visitor skills list if the Philippines is part of that. So there are category like me. I used to be a J1 teacher, an elementary teacher. I have my master's degree in education. I also have my bachelor's degree in elementary education. So that is my way of coming here in the US. For those who are watching right now, thank you for being here with us. I am really dedicated to do this every Monday and hopefully we'll be consistent, especially that we don't have a lot of priorities right now. So I have with me my RFE. This was way back in October 8, 2021. If you will ask me, is it still relevant? The answer is yes. For those who are watching, thank you so much for coming in. I am so thankful that you had the time to watch this and listen to this very important part of the waiver process. The request for evidence that we have is still relevant. The answer for that is yes, because there is nothing that has changed in the waiver process. It's still the same. There's many more to put, especially now that we have plenty of resources online, unlike before that we are still really having those problems where to go to or search. Now there's plenty. You can go to powerfulcouplejourney.com if you would like to see the templates that we have, or just listen to our videos here because we are really dedicated to give this to you. Holy Bacon, hi, thank you for being here. User, hi, thank you. Thank you for being avid fans, your top fans here in our YouTube live. I am happy to see new faces and new people commenting down on the comment section. Aliha Cruz, hi, thank you for being here. I appreciate you coming to our live video and leaving a mark. I am so happy that we have people like you who is supporting small YouTubers like me, who is really dedicated to give information, even though this is not relevant to you, but this would be relevant to the people that are undergoing the process of request for evidence with their waiver. Think of this. If you have your immigration lawyer, this is a crucial stage. This is where you can ask valid questions. All questions are necessary, especially that your RFE is your mirror. It's your mirror to where your case handler has found an exceptional hardship. However, you have to prove based on the documents that you can support. Like, for example, let me read to you a piece of sentences that has been told or given to us through this request for evidence. Oh, it's Alaya. It's a silent H. Ah, thank you. Thank you, Alaya or Aliyah Cruz. Thank you for correcting me. I am so thankful because come to think of it, a lot of people like me, I came from the Philippines, and all of the words or letters needs to be um, distinguished, and we need to say it. So if you said silent H, okay, thank you for letting me know. The second one is correct, Alaya. Yeah. Okay, so Alaya or Aliyah. Please correct me if I'm wrong. Oh, Aliyah. Is it Aliyah? Okay, so silent H. Thank you. Thank you for being here. And I do appreciate your emojis. I do really am thankful that people are really supporting this small YouTube channel. And here's the piece of a sentence that I would tell you. Based on the immigration officer that has had all my paperworks, he said that please note, while the USCIS acknowledges the possibility that your US citizen, thank you for being here, US citizen spouse could suffer exceptional career and financial hardship if he accompanies you to the Philippines, you have not sufficiently demonstrated that he would suffer exceptional hardship in the event of separation, where he remains in the United States while you return to the Philippines, which means your testimony and evidence only demonstrate that he could experience the usual and expected difficulties while are temporary in nature and which many families have to deal with. And this would constitute only to the usual hardship, not exceptional, anticipated from your home country. So, hi, Pickle. Thank you for being here. And you said, what am I talking about? I am talking about my case in the USCIS, that's the U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services here in the U.S. I am giving information, educational purposes only to those that are undergoing their request for evidence. So it is more on immigration, coming from a non-immigrant from a home country just like the Philippines, coming here in the US because we have plenty of things to do before we become a legal permanent resident here in the US. Just to take note, I am not an immigration lawyer. This is just based on my first-hand knowledge and experience with the immigration process through doing it ourselves. Ah, Aaliyah, you need to have a good day. Oh, yeah, you need to have a good day. Spreading heart and happiness to you because you are here and you are giving us attention. We are really so happy that you have stopped by in our small channel and really hoping that it makes your day. All right. And by the way, time check, it's 7:58 here in the United States of America. And if you would ask me, it's 7:59 a.m. in the Philippines. So it is like half a day, right? So it's gonna be something interesting. And thank you for being here. Now, how did we prove the exceptional hardship of my citizen spouse? It says that the separation has not been proved. So what did we do? I had a chance to ask my husband to have a verification of employment from his employer. He also have pay stubs. We also have monthly budget, and we have our joint bank account where we are showing that we put our money together. And once my salary will not be sufficient to his needs here in the US, what will happen to him? Because our finances is 50-50, okay? It might be more during the time on my part because I'm a school teacher and he has a different job, but to be honest with you, it doesn't really matter. What matters is you are joining your finances and you are showing that there's a hardship when it comes to separation and relocation. Now, we also have friends and family who supported us through their letters. Most especially, we have people from our community, like our pastor. And he gave us a letter showing that we really are volunteers and we really are helping each other here in the US. And what if I have to go back to my home country to fulfill the 2-year rule? What will happen to my US citizen spouse? He might not just be financially well, he might also suffer from spiritual devastation because both of us are going to church together every Sunday without fail. Maybe sometimes if we feel like one of us is sick or we don't really have the chance to do it. So something like that. We also have our premarital counselor who has given us a letter. Those are very viable. The reason for that is there are third party people who would show the USCIS case handler that there's really a hardship. It doesn't have to just be you and your spouse affidavit. It also has to go from the home ties, from the US citizens, from the green card holders who knew you from the very beginning. And that's what we did. Where did we find this one? We find this by reading online and at the same time just following our guts and really highlighting everything on the paper. You have to highlight, you have to read every details because your case is unique. Your case might be the same as mine, but if you read between the lines, each case is unique. So you have to know that and prove that one. And then it says here, moreover, USCIS notes that your marriage is relatively young. You might have been married for just barely months. So that's what it says here. So what did we prove to them? We proved to them that even though our marriage is young, my husband's age is far different than mine. We even have like generational gap. I am a millennial. My husband is a um Gen X. So that's another thing that we have said. We wanted to build a family here. How about the 2 years? So it will really be detrimental to our um, ideas that we wanted to have a family together, like having kids, right? So that's what we have also put there. And then my husband asked for a medical a note from his doctor stating that he has anxiety, he has depression, he has all these problems like gut problems because it arises from stress with the immigration process. Don't you know? Doing our papers through the immigration is very stressful. That's why mostly hire for a lawyer because they don't want that to be on their plate. But with us, we don't have the financial means. We might have had that, but for us, our case is very simple. I am single prior to getting married. My husband is single prior to getting married. We don't have kids. We don't have divorce, no strings attached, um, no annulment, stuff like that. So for us, it's very straightforward. And I submitted my papers on my third year. So I really made sure that the process is smooth. And during the time, not a lot of people really filing for a waiver during my time with my visa sponsor, which is CICD or Intrax now. That's the reason why I am really confident to file on my third year. But if you are going to ask me, it's better to file in your fourth year because you already have that established relationship and just gather evidences on your third year. And then once you get your extension with your DS 2019, that's a time for you to submit. Remember, it's very crucial right now. And by the way, whatever hardship claims that you have submitted with your first or initial submission with your Form I-612 or exceptional hardship waiver, once you have your request for evidence, prove to them. That is your blueprint. Your request for evidence is your blueprint to prove to them that there's really a hardship claim. Now, in this year, 2025, there's plenty of changes already, but listen to this. It is the same process. You still have to undergo RFE. You still have to go a lot of evidences to support your claim. And you still have to have your US citizen spouse help you in the process. You know why? The hardship is towards the US citizen spouse and not to the J1 visa holder. But the benefit will be given to the J1 visa holder once you get approved with your exceptional hardship. So that would be the thing. You are getting a benefit. What we did during that time is we highlight every piece of information we found from the letter. Again, your RFE is your blueprint. Think of whatever the USCIS case handler have had in the paper. If they acknowledge that there's a hardship, prove that hardship. So, what are the things we prove to them? We prove to them the financial hardship and the career hardship. We focus on that. But aside from that, we submitted as well articles about crime and poverty in the Philippines. The equilibrium is very high and different. My husband, without fancy education, could work with much salary compared to the Philippines. We need to have a college degree. We need to finish and pass our board exams in order for you to land a job, right? So that's how tedious it is. So we even highlight that in our papers. So if you are now undergoing a hardship um, waiver RFE, request for evidence, that's all you need to do. When you ask me how many affidavit or statement would you like to have, is it like 10 pages? It doesn't really necessarily 10 pages. What you're going to do is tell them on your own words with being grateful that they read your paper. At the same time, tell them that this will be the hardship of my US citizen spouse. Thank you for acknowledging the financial and the career hardship. These are the evidences that can support my claim. So, those are the things that you have to do. Aside from that, thread it with your husband's or your wife, US citizen spouse affidavit or letter. That way, he could really vouch that that would be your hardship claim. Then add that with your letters and friends and family. Add that from your community, like your pastor or whoever is very close to you or your guidance counselor. You can do that. Then we can also have, oh, speaking of, we added the psychological evaluation of my US citizen spouse. Come to think of it. During the time we are brainstorming. We sit down and then we talk. I asked my husband, can you please open up your life to me? He said, I already did. I said, but what part can we support? We're saying that there's really a detrimental effect to you when we're going to be separated for 2 years. I know 2 years is just like, easy peasy, but hey, we already established our life here. That's when he opened up to me that there is a time that he is seeking for like a person to just talk to and let the emotions to let out and being assessed. So I asked him, can you please tell me about that? Is it a psychological evaluation? And then we reach out to that person, which is a psychotherapist. That really helped us. And she drafted a letter to us, and she even placed there that my husband has 3 sessions, at least 3 sessions. It's going to be very important, stating that we really have those experiences, especially my US citizen spouse, with the process. And my husband is saying that I became his emotional support, and without me, he might be going back to his usual being, something like that. I mean, it's too personal to say it here in YouTube because this is like a public thing. But the thing for me is, I'm just telling you, each case is unique, and I'm just giving you some glimpse of our lives here. So, my approach to this is if you got your RFE, that's your blueprint. And stick to whatever you have had there, prove that, and then trickle down to more evidences because we're thinking of the totality of circumstances and not just one. Like, for example, one J1 teacher says, oh, my husband has medical condition. That's going to be my hardship claim. Yes, that could be your hardship claim, but add more. Like, for example, are you contributing to the finances? Does your husband have psychological problems or something that could trigger his depression or anxiety during the process? Do you think if he, even though he's a veteran, do you think his money can suffice if you relocate to the Philippines? Or can he support himself here in the US living alone? So those are the things that you have to think about. Request for evidence is very tricky, but again, that will be your blueprint to prove to them that there's really a hardship claim. Now, disclaimer, I am not an immigration lawyer, but here's the thing. If you are submitting for persecution waiver, that's going to be a different thing, especially if you are same-sex marriage. There's going to be more battle for you to go through because let's just face it, in today's administration, they really are focusing on a real relationship, which is a husband and a wife. And just to let you know, it's really hard for now. So I'm really, really hoping that you can prove your hardship claim. I already have one person reaching out to me, um, just to let them know that they can do it on their own. Especially, they don't want to have an immigration lawyer. But as of this point, if I were that person, he or she might need to seek an immigration lawyer. That way, they could really ask themselves if they can do it on their own, or there is something that the lawyer could create and add substance to their claim. Especially now that it's very hard to prove this. So please reach out to the right people. I am willing to give my ideas to you. Let's brainstorm, okay? I have lots of J1 teachers messaging me through Messenger every single day. They also message me through J1 Waiver Helping Hands group. Just agree to group rules, and I, as your admin, will accept you immediately. Also, please give us a like, share, subscribe to this YouTube channel, Powerful Couple Journey. That way, we could also feel your love and support, and we will continue on giving you insights about the J1 waiver process. This is Emmary giving you the DIY ideas. And for those of you that are still on the fence, please think that the second year and fourth year is the best time to submit. That way, you still have 2 years to play along your timeline. If you are on your fifth year already, it's really hard, especially that right after you are finished with your DS 2019 extension, you are not allowed to work anymore. So you might be able to just wait till your waiver gets a case on hold, or your till your waiver gets approved. That way you can file for a work permit and then file for adjustment of status. The process again is still the same. It's just a matter of timing and your timeline on when to submit the waiver. Some of you would say, I give up. I'm going to have to raise my white flag and I'm going to go back to my home country, the Philippines. It's okay. Just talk to your spouse if you can do the 2 year separation. That means you are LDR. And while doing so, submit your petition already while you are here in the US. And then follow up. That way, right after that, once it is approved, you can file for adjustment of status, and then everything will be on the process. And once you get back to the US, you're going to be a green card holder. So think of that, okay? Again, request for evidence. Think of the hardship claims that you have. Prove that to your case handler. And the best thing to do is to always give gratitude to him or her. And then pray for your papers because nothing beats prayers. Everything should be prayed for, especially that this is the hardest part. Once you get your RFE, no turning back. That will be your final answer. Then submit it properly. Think of it as your blueprint. EH, RFE is your blueprint. So one time, big time shot, submit it, and then make sure if you have plenty of evidences, put it in a yellow envelope and then label it Packet 1, Form I-612, Packet 2, Form I-612, Packet 3, Form I-612. That way, there's a series of papers that your case handler could see. Also, they don't want you to have, as much as possible, do not put tabs. So what you're going to do is label it and have a table of contents. That way, once your case handler could read it, it's like a book. That way, it's easier for them to point out, okay, he has a financial hardship claim. which are the evidences would be, okay, he or she has a financial or career hardship claim. The evidences would be, so those are the things that you have to learn and to establish. If you have any other questions, please don't hesitate to reach out to Emmary T. Powell in my messenger, and we will make sure to give you time to answer as much as possible because I'm always thinking, even though I'm busy with my 9 to 5 job, I will always make sure to give my ideas to you because this is my advocacy stating that from a Filipina that is a non-immigrant, a J1 teacher with 212E rule, now a green card holder, living my best life here in the US with my US citizen spouse. Thank you so much for being here. God bless and see you in my next video. Have a great day.